Welcome back to our live team coverage tracking Irma. I want to keep you just updated on developments as they happen to make sure your family stays safe and that you're prepared for tomorrow and the week ahead as we move Irma out of the Palmetto State. Two quick updates that have just come in. USC resuming regular operations tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. We're hearing from you asking about the school districts. They want to make the right decision. They need a little more time just to see what the situation is on the ground. Richland 2 expects to make a decision sometime around 5:30 this evening. And Dondi, I suspect the other districts are probably in that general time frame as well.
Same thing. They're going to make them probably later this evening, and we'll post those as soon as we know them to let you know. And Sumter School District has already said they will have school tomorrow, but on a 2-hour delay. Let's give you some shots here, some views of new video just in showing these officers with Columbia Police Department really getting their feet wet. They're new officers, and this is their introduction to policing, directing traffic. This is at Millwood and Gervais, and lights have been out there as well. That car turning, that would be left on Gervais there. So do be careful, everyone, as you're out and about. And also some new information on Bluff Road being blocked because of downed trees and power lines between Lower Richland Boulevard and Coley Road, and that information coming from someone traveling in that area. So keep that in mind if you have to go there. But again, the governor and other state officials asking you to not be traveling this afternoon. Well,
as we mentioned, Governor McMaster making his way over to Dent Middle School, the first shelter that opened in the capital city. Our Sam Blyweiss is standing by there to tell us more about their emergency operations in response to the storm. Sam?
Yeah, well, Judy, Dondi, we're here at Dent Middle School, like you said, that first shelter to open here in the Midlands. And I can tell you, I was here yesterday. There were about 20 adults and 16 kids. At this point, I'm with Rebecca Jordan. She's the executive director of the Central South Carolina chapter of the Red Cross. But now at this point, what are the updated numbers?
We've got 60 people that are sheltering here right now, yes.
And they're from all across the state. They're also from various parts of Florida and Georgia as well. And again, as you said, we are awaiting the arrival of Governor Henry McMaster. So, Rebecca, go ahead and tell us about how you learned the governor was going to be here today.
I was on the phone with one of our volunteers, and she let me know that he would be coming over. It's not surprising for them to come see. Actually, when he was lieutenant governor, he came over during the flood to the shelter that we had at Flora. So I think he just wants to see what's going on and how everybody's doing.
So you expect him to come in here and check on the people that are sheltered in place here?
Yeah, I think so, and just welcome them. Give a good welcome here to the Columbia area.
All right, well, thank you, Rebecca. And again, we are going to wait for him to show up here. We just got here a few minutes ago, and just a quick update on the weather just around us. On the way here, we saw the clouds moving pretty quickly. The rain is definitely coming down still. It's coming down pretty heavy, so we're going to keep watching that out here. Again, that shelter is still open. They do have beds open inside. That number is up. They've about doubled the people inside here at this point. But again, we are waiting for Governor Henry McMaster to arrive here. Once we do, we're going to try and grab him. And as we do that, we will certainly keep you posted. But Judy, Dondi, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you for now.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. And got to give a big shout out to the South Carolina National Guard. See them on duty there behind Sam. They are on duty on the barrier islands, patrolling, providing security, and also have a unit leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning to help with relief in Florida. We appreciate your service.
Absolutely. Let's show you new video in showing a large tree, yet another one. This is the main reason they say don't go out, because of these huge trees that are coming down. This one at Lady Street near Bull Street. That's just down from the WIS studios in downtown Columbia. City of Columbia, in fact, working others. As you just look at that video, they've got Woodlake Drive and Carter Hill Drive trees down, Clark Street, Florence Street, Henderson Street, King, Fairview Road, Lyon Street, Gervais, Trenham Road and Gervais, Pond Oak, Elmwood Avenue, Adger Road, Devereaux Road. Those last couple would be in the Heathwood neighborhood. So numerous trees down just in the city of Columbia. And beyond, we just have a whole huge list. So again, they're asking you to stay away. And especially if those hit power lines, you have to stay at least 100 feet away and make sure you call emergency crews right away for something like that.
And looking at that video and the reports of multiple trees down, more than a dozen now just in Columbia, that gives you some perspective and understanding about why school districts need to hold off a little bit longer about making the decision regarding school tomorrow. They need to make sure bus routes are clear. And with the wind advisories in place, still pretty strong winds that we're going to see in parts of the Midlands. They need to make sure it's safe for the kids to come to school. So at this point, they're asking you to just prepare for every possibility. School could start on time. They might have a delay, or they might take another day. But whatever the decision is, safety will come first. And as soon as they make that call a little later this evening, we will let you know. We have some time video, time-lapse video, I should say,
yeah,
that we want to show you. Now, Dondi, this is showing the clouds there out at Home Depot
on Harbison Boulevard. Yeah,
just take a look at
clouds
that.
moving in and moving right back out. We want to see them continue to move back out. So glad to see time-lapse video, but we'll be happy when we see the sunshine pop up in that time-lapse video, which may still be just a little while.
And that's a good reminder. If you can safely do it, again, safety is number one. Send us your pictures and your video on WISTV.com. That helps us let everybody know what the conditions are on the ground around the Midlands. Stay with us for our team coverage, Tracking Irma, right here on WIS News 10.
New video into the WIS newsroom. This is Hayward Street in Columbia, where a small tree is down. You can see, though, the wind's still quite strong out there. This little tree pales in comparison to some of the huge trees that have come down throughout the entire state. Crews, thousands of workers already out trying to clear those, but more possibly could be coming down today and tomorrow.
We are getting reports of power lines down in Richland County, in Lexington County, a number of trees down. That list keeps getting longer and longer. Just a reminder, when traffic lights are completely out and officers are not on the scene, treat those signals that are just out as a four-way stop. If the light is flashing red, treat it as a stop sign, and if it's flashing yellow, make sure you proceed with caution. Only when traffic permits, but let me reiterate once again, if there is standing water on the roadway, do not drive through it. You have no guarantee about the integrity of the ground underneath that water. The hashtag or the saying that we keep hearing, turn around, don't drown. I know sometimes it looks very shallow, but it's impossible to really make a good judgment of how deep it might be or how safe it might be. So just turn around and take a safer route.
All right, let's go through a series of video clips we have for you. This one, Pawleys Island. You can see not only a lot of flooding in that area, but the water still rushing there. Thankfully, you don't see people out and about in it, but that is Pawleys Island. From Garden City Inn. In Garden City, this is what we have there between Surfside and Merle's Inlet. More flooding. That's right. More flooding on roadways outside of the homes there in Garden City and Surfside Beach. We had a report from one of our sister stations there earlier. The waves just battering the coastline there, and a large tree also fell on a home, causing some serious damage. Take a look at that. That is in West Ashley, which is, of course, just outside of Charleston. Yeah, Charleston County still not having school tomorrow as well. And people taking in the rough surf as it moves up the beach. This is at 6th Avenue in Myrtle Beach. Taking pictures with that guy walking without a shirt. It's a little cool for that buddy, but and enjoying the water. People playing in the rough ocean there as the storm surge pushes the water up the beach into North Myrtle Beach. And meanwhile, let's go to Florida. Storm surged overwhelmed the neighborhoods there in Jacksonville, leaving just a scared cat, if you can see there, to take refuge on a windowsill. Video showing a woman coming to the cat's rescue, thankfully, wading through high waters to get to the little guy. The nervous cat jumped into a nearby bush. Another Good Samaritan comes along, joins in the rescue effort, and together the women successfully grabbed the feline and carried it to safety. I want to give you another update. First, let me tell you that Tropical Storm Irma is impacting air travel from the Columbia Airport, which you might imagine. So here's a look at time-lapse video. Take a look at this. That's pretty impressive as well. It was shot from the Columbia Metropolitan Airport, just showing the movement of clouds over the airport. A number of arrival and departure flights have been canceled this evening. Also, a number of delays. Many of those flights are coming to or coming out of or to or from Atlanta and Charlotte. So as common sense would dictate, just check with their airline ahead of time to see what the situation is about your flight and check if they'll see about waiving any of those fees for any of those itinerary changes. Another important update that we just got in from the county of Lexington, utility lines are down. Utility lines are down the roadway in the 100 block of Killian Point Circle. So they are asking, number one,
avoid the area. And number two, be on the lookout for personnel as they get to that area to make the repairs. Obviously, they want to keep traffic out of that area and keep them safe while they are working.
Take a look at some more video we have into the newsroom now. This is in South Georgia, where they got massive amounts of rain from Irma. This is a well-known street there called River Street. It's in Savannah. Many of you who have visited that area will know this, and look what they're dealing with. Pretty much just turning that street into a river. The business owners have been putting sandbags around the doors of their properties for days before this happened. Hopefully those sandbags were able to hold. And Lake Marion, Mill Creek Landing, this is 7 minutes from Santee. And take a look at what they're dealing with there.
And a look at the mess that the storm surge is causing in Charleston. Just heartbreaking, really, to see that water just rushing through the historic district. This is a look at White Point Garden, which is located on the Battery. You'll see the whole area is underwater. Again, our sister station had a reporter out there in the flood. She commonsensically and rightfully stayed off to the side and didn't venture out into those waters. But you can see it is a dangerous situation, and it's going to take some time for those floodwaters to recede. Our
Chad Mills is in Beaufort County. He has been at Waterfront Park showing the flooding there. And Chad, of all people, of course, found a bar where the bar was open, though people were having to go in their rain boots because the water was up to their knees and such. But now he's back out in the elements. Chad?
And Donnie, let me correct you just right off the bat. Some were in flip-flops inside that bar. We are outside the bar right along the seawall now, and if you look out to my right here, you see Woods Memorial Bridge. That is the bridge from Forrest Gump. You can see it is cloudy. Another wave is pushing in now. The raindrops almost feel like little pinpricks. They are blowing almost sideways. Another wave right now. Some of the people enjoying the waterfront park, despite all things, are seeking a little bit of shelter right now. Now, behind me, you can look out and see the Ladies Island Bridge. The area to the right of that bridge is a little area, another little touristy area called Port Royal, a pretty little town. And that bridge, of course, leads over to Ladies Island. When that wave was rolling in just about 5 minutes ago, it was impossible to see the bridge where I am standing right now. Now, back here along the waterfront, it is drying out. The tide is pulling this water out. Again, just about 5 minutes ago, I would have been standing probably about up to my ankle in water just in this spot alone, but it's practically dry now. The water has retreated from this area in front of the seawall, so that is some good news. But to walk again and show you something else that was mentioned in the bar, the debris left behind by Irma as it pushed that water up into this riverfront, or I should say waterfront park here in Beaufort. And this area behind me is called the Harbor River, but it is, of course, saltwater. It is brackish water, rather. People still out just taking pictures, seeing what's going on here in Beaufort, and getting ready for a few days of cleanup. As we learned inside the bar, there are a couple neighborhoods in the downtown Beaufort area dealing with some flooding. So obviously we wish those people well, but it is clear that there are a number of people already sitting around. They don't have power. They don't have a whole lot to do. They are ready to help out in a big way here in Beaufort. Guys.
All right, Chad, thank you so very much. We want to give you an update on what is happening around the capital city. And I can tell you the Columbia Police Department, man, they are on it today. They are all over the city working to clear these trees that have fallen. This is showing them on the scene of yet another tree down. This one is at Senate and Calhoun Streets. Police are reporting that they are clearing these scenes as quickly as possible. But I'm telling you, the list, every time we report another one, it seems like we get reports of 2 more in. So just really wise to stay off the roads unless you absolutely have to venture out, and to be very careful if you do drive out, because these things happen with little to no notice.
Let me correct something earlier. I said the phone number for South Carolina DOT, I said 1-800-467, well, I said 1-800-GO-SC-DOT. It's actually 1-855 GO SC-DOT. So the GO SC-DOT is correct, but it's 855, just so we make sure that's right. Let's go to Ashley Holland. She is at the Emergency Management Division there, and with an update for us. Ashley.
That's right, Donnie. The governor is right now visiting a shelter. Denton Middle School opened in Richland County, but before he left for the shelter, he was here for his latest press conference. The power flickering just now as we are on generator power here in West Columbia at this point. But here, the governor told us that he feels the state saw little relief that Irma didn't hit us directly, but that's still the main takeaway. It's still very dangerous out there. He says that there's high winds, rains, tidal flooding on the coast, and also flooding from the storm, that he wants people to stay sheltered, basically. And the National Guard added that people should stay indoors because when they venture out and start to sightsee, that puts the lives of emergency responders in danger. Now, there is flooding on the coast, especially with high tides out in the low country. There's high winds that brought down trees, caused more than 140,000 power outages across the state. But damage and safety rescue missions will begin as soon as conditions are better, are safer for those emergency crews to be able to get out on the roads. At this point, we don't know when that will be. The governor thought perhaps tomorrow, but he's still monitoring the storm. But for right now, he's not sure when he's going to lift those evacuation orders. They are still in effect for those barrier islands in Beaufort, Jasper, and Colleton counties.
Ashley, sorry to interrupt. Governor McMaster just arrived, as you saw there, at Denton Middle School. That is the first shelter that opened in the Columbia area. He was parked there outside. Our Sam Blywise standing by with that live shot, going in to meet with some of the evacuees. And as Sam noted in her live shots earlier, Donde, for privacy concerns, which is completely understandable, media crews are not allowed inside. I mean, people are, dealing with enough without cameras being in their face, trying to ask them, how they feel about evacuating and all of that. So for those who want to talk about their experience, to try and help others, and, for some it's therapeutic, they come outside and they talk with our crews, but we do not take our cameras inside. But again, that's the governor's vehicle that just rolled up, and he just quickly walked inside there to Denton Middle School.
There are 25 shelters open. They did not fill up or even close to filling up because there were about 885 people who have used them, some from our South Carolina coast, some from Georgia and Florida, but the capacity is 13,000. So that's why the governor wanted to make sure people still know that if something happens yet today where you lose your power or where a tree goes down and you can't get in or out of your home, you're welcome to go to one of the 25 shelters. This one specifically in Richland School District 2. It's Dent Middle School on Decker Boulevard, one of many. This is the first one that had opened, but there are several depending on where you live. We
gave a shout out earlier to the South Carolina National Guard. Also want to say a big thank you to the South Carolina Baptist Convention. Their volunteers were the first on scene, setting up mobile showers, making sure evacuees have everything they need when they come into that shelter. And if more people need to go there tonight, they are ready and waiting.
Earlier, there was an accident on Interstate 77 at Shop Road. Unfortunately, a fatality. Our Greg Adeline is there on the scene. Let's go to him. Greg.
Well, Dondi, Judy, right now the wrecker just showed up here. This is I-77 southbound at Shop Road. Let me step out of the way. You can see the scene here. This is a confirmed fatal accident that has tied up traffic down to one lane right now. Columbia Fire Heavy Rescue on the scene here. When we pulled up just a few moments ago, we saw different first responders taking items out of some of those cars, but again, we have learned that this is a fatal accident. How this all happened, not exactly clear, although throughout the afternoon you heard the governor, and we've also been providing warnings not to be driving out on area roads, only because it can be dangerous in certain circumstances. We don't know if the weather contributed to this accident in any way, shape, or form, but either way, it is a disturbing scene. These two cars, one an SUV, the other what appears to be an SUV, in some sort of a collision. That one vehicle obviously flipped over there. Not clear who exactly was killed in all of this, if it was a driver or passenger. We're working to figure out those details, but in the meantime, safe to say if you're heading southbound on I-77, you will likely have to factor in some extra travel time, only because traffic is down to one lane. But again, the warning has gone out from the governor and others to make sure that you stay indoors on a day like today. Traveling just isn't worth it. Can be a dangerous proposition on area roads and on highways. But again, one person dead in a fatal accident here, I-77 southbound on Shop Road. As we get more details, we'll pass them along to you. Judy, Dondi, back to you.
All right, Greg,
so
you and the crew stay safe out there as well. We're going to take a quick break. More of our live continuing coverage, tracking Irma, right after this.
All right, everybody, we're back now. Fast-moving clouds in Chapin. And as you see this video here, and we want to just see those clouds keep moving out.
Yeah.
And will the sun come out tomorrow?
Oh,
We could sing that
absolutely.
song, hopefully. The sun will come out
Annie
tomorrow.
used to sing that.
Yeah, well, let's hope it's true here, because there's a lot of cleanup. And thankfully, this area, the Greater Midlands area, doing okay. By the coast, though, such flooding down there.
Right, you were just showing me a picture down towards Savannah.
Yeah, in Tybee Island. I'll have to post it to Facebook so you can see it. One of our reporters from WTOC in Savannah shows a picture of a large-sized boat
In the road.
in the road. The water has receded and the boat's just there in the road.
Let's see where the center of the storm is. The center of the
Okay.
storm is in southwestern Georgia at this point. And there is the satellite along with the radar. So heaviest rain is beginning to push its way up through Georgia. We still have several squalls in our forecast for about the next 3 to 5 hours. We have numerous watches and warnings that are in place. A lot of colors, right? Colorations, high wind warning in that purplish pink. Flash flood warnings down on the coast. A tornado watch that extends as far north as Orangeburg, Barnwell, Bamberg counties, and then flood watches once you get west over into Aiken and Edgefield counties. So it's going to be another 3 to 4 hours. The wind's up. We have current sustained winds coming in from the National Weather Service. Aiken, Columbia, Florence, 22 to 26 miles per hour. And these are the gusts. That's right. That's tropical storm force. 40, 41, 45. Zooming in, St. Matthews, a gust of 46, 43 Newberry, 44 Chester. And here's Futurecast. Boom, we stop it right there. So 9:30, again, these contours are going to dissipate very, very quickly once we get into the mid to late evening. The clouds will persist overnight, and then we're going to be out of it. Dondi, you said about sunshine. Well, there's tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. It's still cloudy. The rain's out. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to have sunshine that will carry over for the next several days. So in terms of additional rain totals, I don't think we're going to see more than maybe another ½ an inch to an inch of rain here in the Midlands. And that's according to our latest computer models. Again, those are some wind gusts there. I'm hoping I can fast forward to the 7-day. And I believe I can, as we look at the Futurecast that has high temperatures that are going to start to really warm up. We're looking at 90s by the end of the week. 90 Friday, Saturday, 91 Sunday, and 92 on Monday. The rain's out early tomorrow, partly cloudy Wednesday, 86 Thursday, and 90 on Friday. Low temperatures, too, will be in the mid to upper 60s and then warming to the lower 70s by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Dondi, Judy.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. We have another new picture just in of yet another tree. This one uprooted and then crashed down on top of power lines. That's at Cypress and Maple Streets. Cypress and Maple, which is just off of Millwood Avenue. Columbia Police Department out on duty, really all around the Columbia area. A list now of more than a dozen trees that have fallen down. And SCE&G at last check, and I'll take a look at the website now to update it, but at last check, more than 100,000 power outages, and they are reminding you, don't rely on social media to report your power outage. Use the normal channels. You can work through your mobile phone or through the website, and of course they have the outage line that you can call and report those outages to, and then trust that as soon as it is safe, they have the crews already on standby, already pre-positioned, ready to get out as quickly as they can. But they've got to wait for some of these winds in some of these spots to die down before they put those bucket trucks.
And just want to mention again, we haven't for a while about those barrier island evacuations. If you are watching us because you're staying here, you can't go back home yet. That evacuation order has not been lifted yet. So the governor made it very clear that if you were one of the 3 counties, the barrier islands in those 3 counties evacuated on Saturday morning, you cannot go back at this point. So just plan to stay put if you're watching us right now.
All right, I got that update from SCE&G on their outage map. Now more than 154,000 power outages. So that number has increased significantly, but we will keep you posted. Much more in our live team coverage right after this.